All right, let's jump right into it. Today we're doing a deep dive on the Fantastic Four. First steps. It's definitely one of the most anticipated films this year.
Absolutely. Huge buzz around this one.
Yeah, and Marvel's latest attempt, to finally nail this team on screen, it's got everyone talking. So we're here to kind of cut through the noise.
Makes sense.
We'll blend what the critics are saying, fan reactions, key insights from our sources, basically give you the clearest picture. Think of it like your shortcut to understanding all the hype.
And what's fascinating here really is the sheer weight of expectation on this specific Fantastic Four from Marvel Studios.
Right.
I mean, previous attempts, they hit some serious hurdles. But this one, it's got the job of finally capturing this team properly. It's not just another superhero flick, it's, well, potentially pivotal for their MCU legacy.
And looking at our sources, it actually seems like they might be on the right track this time.
It seems that way.
A lot of critics are even calling it Marvel's most successful Fantastic Four yet. Which, honestly, that's a pretty bold claim given the history. What's the general feeling you're getting from the reviews?
Well, the consensus is remarkably positive, actually. Decider. They called it a resounding success for Marvel Studios. They love the, heartfelt story, the performances, Michael Giacchino's score.
Oh, Giacchino's score too? Nice.
Yeah, and all set in this, gorgeous retro-futurist world. AP News echoed that, praising its stylish charm and emotional depth. They specifically highlighted how well it handled Sue Storm's pregnancy and that whole maternal love theme.
Interesting.
And Entertainment Weekly, they really dug the campy charm and that vibrant 1960s vibe. It definitely helps it stand out.
Yeah, that 60s thing sounds cool.
Then the Washington Post, they pointed out the tight runtime, just 118 minutes, and a really strong family dynamic, driven mostly by Reed and Sue's bond.
Okay, so that's a lot of praise, especially for a team that's, let's be honest, struggled on screen before. But, no film gets a perfect score.
Our sources flagged some criticisms too, right? What were the main sticking points?
Yeah, exactly. While the praise is definitely there, a few criticisms kept popping up. Cinema Blend, for instance, felt the plot was maybe somewhat shallow and too heavy on exposition.
Ah, the exposition dump. A classic issue.
Right, like it got a bit bogged down in explaining things. And Danny Minton, a local reviewer, he mentioned a lack of humor and some one-note characters, even though he liked the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Even on Reddit, fans are buzzing about the cast chemistry and the retro look, which is great, but some are also bemoaning the pacing, suggesting maybe parts felt rushed or a bit uneven.
Gotcha.
So overall, it's landing well, but yeah, specific notes about pacing, maybe too much explaining, and the humor not always hitting. Okay, so it sounds like emotionally and aesthetically, it's really hitting the mark, but maybe a few bumps in the storytelling road. But let's talk more about that emotional angle. What seems to really lift this movie, maybe making it stand out even in the crowded superhero space, is that focus on motherhood. What did the sources say about that? How rare is that for Marvel?
Oh, that's spot on. That's really where this film seems to carve out its own space. Sue Storm's pregnancy isn't just like a side detail. It's positioned as the actual emotional backbone of the story.
Backbone, wow.
Yeah. AP News really stresses how Sue's journey centers the story around family and legacy. Her personal story is totally woven into the bigger cosmic threads.
That makes sense.
And Parents.com, they picked up on how the film pushes messages like not letting circumstances define one's worth and seeing the vast potential in every child. It's powerful stuff.
That really is powerful.
And honestly, it's a choice Marvel hasn't often made, putting that kind of deeply human, female-centric narrative right at the core, especially grounding all the big spectacle.
Yeah, you don't see that often. It sounds like that maternal love really acts as like you said, the force field around the story's heart, gives it real courage. And it's fascinating how they weave that into such a unique visual style. Speaking of which, let's shift to that look and feel. How did the sources describe the world building?
Oh, it's definitely a standout. The film is set very specifically on Earth 828. It's an alternate 1960s universe.
Earth 828, okay.
And crucially, they made the call to just skip the origin story, completely.
No Powers origin?
Nope. Drop right in, the team's already established, which,
Yeah.
Immediately sets a different kind of confident tone.
That is fresh. And that tone, it's boosted by that amazing aesthetic, right? The retrofuturism, the colors. Sources mentioned the Jetsons, Mad Men, early comics. It looks stunning. What really jumped out at you from the sources about that style? For me, it just feels like a breath of fresh air compared to, the usual look.
It's absolutely a bold choice, and it works. It gives the film its own strong identity. It feels like lived in but also beautifully stylized, you know?
Yeah.
And narratively, it juggles things, interestingly. You've got this cosmic threat kind of looming. Galactus is out there, the Silver Surfer, who's Shalabal here. She brings a warning.
Shalabal as Silver Surfer. Okay, interesting twist.
Right, but that huge cosmic danger is always balanced against the very human stuff, like Sue's pregnancy. Keeps it grounded.
Keeps the stakes personal.
Exactly. Although, while it's praised for being tight at 118 minutes, some of those criticisms we mentioned, the exposition, the humor, they might tie into how smoothly it balances those two big narrative threads.
Right, packing a lot into that runtime.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, so a great team needs great chemistry. Let's talk actors. Who's really holding it all together?
Yeah, this seems to be a major win across the board. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards and Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. They apparently have this believable, loving intelligence.
Oh, I like that description.
Yeah, critics consistently praise their chemistry. It's like the anchor for the whole family dynamic, makes it feel real. You believe they've been through stuff together.
That's crucial for the F4. And the others, Johnny and Ben.
They hold their own too. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, he apparently brings that necessary flame-on energy. Though some sources felt he sometimes dips into, well, typical comic relief territory.
Okay, so classic Johnny Storm, then.
Pretty much. And Eben Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm, he's described as providing a really solid presence, which you need for the thing.
Definitely.
And Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer Shalabal, she apparently brings significant emotional weight to the role of the Herald, which is great, adds depth to the cosmic side.
Nice to see the surfer get that treatment.
And beyond the core four, you've got some fun supporting turns. Paul Walter Hauser as Mole Man, Natasha Lyonne, they add nice texture.
Oh, Leone's in it. Cool.
Yeah. And these roles, plus some cameos, they help connect it to the wider MCU without feeling, forced. Makes the world feel bigger, but still its own thing.
Okay, perfect transition. Let's talk about the stuff fans really wait for. Post-credit scenes. Always a big deal for Marvel. This one has two, right? One hit, one maybe not so much. Let's unpack that first one.
Right, the first one, definitely the winner. Generated a lot of buzz, feels very strategic. It jumps forward, shows a grown-up Franklin Richards, played by Ada Scott, who was the baby earlier.
Franklin Richards. Okay,
That's huge. And the scene heavily hints he'll join or play a big role in Avengers. Doomsday. So, if you connect the dots, that's a clear bridge straight into Phase 6. Sets up major stuff, really cements the F4's place going forward. Big deal for fans.
Wow. Yeah, that lands. Okay, but then the second scene. Sounds like it left people a bit confused. Just a montage of cartoon lines.
Yeah, that one's odd. Our sources basically called it cringy or unnecessary, a tonal mismatch. Ultimately, just didn't feel like a reward for staying. You kind of watch and go, what was that about?
Strange choice after building such a specific tone.
Very peculiar, especially given how grounded and emotional the rest of the film sounds. But hey, beyond the credits, there are apparently tons of other little Easter eggs sprinkled throughout for sharp-eyed viewers.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Well, retro Marvel things like Jack Kirby's birthday hidden in the Earth 828 designation, classic lines like Clobberin' Time and Flame On, cameos from the original 1994 F4 cast.
No way, the 94 cast. That's a deep cut.
Right. Plus Mole Man, Giganto, nods to the Pan Am building, WHIH TV news, even some Back to the Future speed jokes, apparently.
Yeah, fun.
And even stuff from the trailers, like nods to WandaVision, and apparently some fungus references echoing Pedro Pascal's Last of Us role. So yeah, plenty for fans to dig into.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive on the Fantastic Four, first steps. What's the final verdict? Sources seem to land around a solid 8 out of 10, right?
Yeah, that feels about right based on the consensus.
Its strengths sound really compelling. That powerful emotional core, especially with Sue's motherhood, sounds like a game changer. The whole visual and sound design, stunning. And that cast chemistry, particularly Pascal and Kirby.
Definitely the high points. But, we have to acknowledge the weaknesses too, those occasional exposition dumps we mentioned, the humor maybe being a bit hit or miss.
Right, not always landing.
And yeah, that second post-credit scene just feels like a bit of a fumble that doesn't quite fit the rest of the movie's vibe.
Still, despite those few bumps, it really sounds like this Fantastic Four finally does the team justice. Like it breaks that long-running curse,
It feels like it.
And not just by having a good script and cast, but by daring to mix the cosmic stuff with really human, relatable feelings. That blend of big action and everyday love sounds fantastic. It really might signal a new creative direction for Phase 6, maybe.
I think it could. good. It shows a willingness to maybe experiment more, lean into different tones and more grounded emotions within the big MCU framework.
Definitely leaves you thinking.
Which actually raises an interesting question. Given how well this film seems to have grounded its cosmic story with that powerful motherhood theme and the unique retro style, what does this signal for the future of the MCU? Could we see more films taking these kinds of creative, maybe more emotionally focused risks?
That's a great question to ponder. Okay, well, we hope this deep dives into the Fantastic Four. First Steps gave you plenty to think about. Got any thoughts yourself?
Yeah, we'd love to hear them.
Feel free to share your opinions or maybe your favorite moments if you've seen it, or just what stood out from our chat. Drop them in the comments below. I'd honestly love to hear what you think. And hey, while you're there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more reviews and deep dives on the latest movies and dramas. And definitely hit that bell icon so you won't miss any new updates from us. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.